10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. It's go time! What? Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Wednesday show here at Pot Squatch Growers. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day so far. As we typically will do, let's go back to the beginning. We'll say hello to everyone who has been chatting before the show. Good to see you, Kenneth R. Knox. What's up, Godless Nanja? Ganja Nonna, your mama, if you're still there. Welcome and thank you for staying up, my sister. Soul Price, it's been a hot minute. Good to see you, my friend. Fred Fury, good to see you, my friend. Van Island Beauty, good to see you, my friend. That guy, Channel 2, good to see you. This is funny. First of all, there's no such thing as a bad buzz, baby. And, you know, let the trolls hate, baby. Let the trolls hate. I ain't worried about it at all. They just scared, baby. Anyway, I don't even know who that is. I mean, to be fair, I don't really pay attention to other channels. I'll collab with other channels, but like, let's be fair. I've always been more of a lone wolf, just kind of doing what my own thing is. I don't need to do anything but do what we do here at Pot Squatch Growers. But, you know, let the good times roll. What's happening, Miss K's Garden? Good to see you. Those update videos are looking great, Miss K. Good to see you, girl. JP Page 2. Yeah, that's right. Let's talk about growing, baby. Good to see you, buddy. All right. Am I missing anybody? I don't think so. What's up, Tom Dobbs? Good to see you, buddy. All right. What's up, Wake Now? I think you're using two different accounts right now. That's funny. What's up? Who's your Squatch? Good to see you, buddy. What's up, Anthony Cordero? All right, perfect. So we've caught up there. I hope everybody's having a good week so far. I'm trying to remember where we were at last week with things. I got a job, so that was good. Thank God for that one. Oh, well, you know, hey, my God, that guy Channel 2, my response to knowing whom they are then is, what's up, Chris Ball? Good to see you, baby. The thing I find funny about that and their band of merry little idiots is like the Grove Boss bump in between he and I was a one-time thing years ago. Like literally years. I made one video. That was it in response. And then I moved on. And the fact that these people are still sitting there obsessing and playing, and it's, my God, it's awfully sad. How about you stop just, you know, worrying about helping people, teaching, learning, growing, and having some fun. Oh, wait, I forgot. Your whole marketing campaign is on being an asshole. So go for it. Take your stabs, my friends. Crucify me. Make me a martyr. I don't mind at all. Hell yeah, Miss K's Garden. That's my girl right there. Everybody, if you haven't seen Miss K's Garden, check it out. Miss K is growing one of our genetics and genetics from another brand. I cannot remember off the top of my head. I do remember the image of the man whose genetics it was, has very long hair and potentially long beard. But it's looking really good, girl. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And I'm really happy to hear that. You know, and anyone, let's talk about that for a second, you know, about creating a YouTube. And this is a YouTube in any space, not just the cannabis space, okay? Trying to get your channel going. You know, the hardest thing to do is to get 100 subs. That first 100 subs is the hardest thing for you to ever do. Have I pulled those plants yet? Not yet, Tom Dobbs. They're still going. And at the end of the day, you know, once you get to that first 100, that's when it starts to really flow. Getting engagement, building an audience is the hardest thing to do. Establishing your brand is one of the hardest things to do. I feel like it took me the better part of a year of being consistent and releasing stuff before we had 100 subs. I remember the day we hit 100 subs, I was so blown away and so excited. And then, you know, we kept going, kept growing. And then all of a sudden, boom, we broke 20,000. And then YouTube started hating on YouTube channels that are cannabis related. And then that kind of slowed things. But we're picking up again. Things are going well again. And it's a good time. Okay. So the other genetics she's growing on her channel, everybody, check out Miss K's Garden. All you got to do is type in Miss K's Garden. And, well, hell, if you go Miss K's Garden and then put a space and add Pot Squatch on there, that'll help you also find it if you can't find it with just Miss K's Garden there. But it's Chad Westport Twin Peak Genetics. All right, there we go. Thank you very much for sharing Miss K's Garden, and also huge congratulations to you. It makes me really happy watching people, both their grows at home being successful, or if they're wanting to build an online following or an online brand community, and watching them be successful and doing what they love and having fun while doing it. It means the world to me. And fuck yeah, girl. Your plants have the too tall lean. Yeah, it's called heavy weed titties, sons. It's called what you want. You know, we ain't all scrogging here. Sometimes we like to do hands-on thing, man. And at the end of the day, having a heavy weed titty, like man, like people complaining, like, oh man, look at those branches, they're sagging. Man's growing big weed plants and big weed titties, and oh no, that's bad. I don't know. I don't know in what world that makes sense, but in my mind, big weed titties ain't a bad thing. But anyway, that's moving on. Mud Swat says at Pot Squatch Growers, I had a skewer in my plant. It can support itself, so I pulled it. It took a little, maybe inch long root with it. Will my plant die? No, you will be totally fine. At the end of the day, a little bit of damage to your roots isn't even a bad thing. Okay, so the premise of the carbonated water does work, by the way. That's root agitation. Okay. There's been times where I've had to add new stakes to my grows, and I will legitimately just stab it through the root ball. And I've never once worried that it's going to harm my plant. At the end of the day, a little bit of stress goes a long way. Stress is beneficial to our plants, everybody. If you're going to baby your plant and never let it learn certain things on its own and face some hardships, you're not going to get the best weed around. Okay. Think of a child. Okay. Think of a spoiled child that has been sat and fed and never faced hardships, never lost, never had heartbreak, never had this, never had that. What happens to that child when they're an adult? We meet them. They're a lazy piece of shit 9 times out of 10. They're entitled, they're conceited, they're full of their own fucking shit. They think they're God's gift to Jesus, when really they're just a lazy piece of shit with nothing to really relevant to bring to the world. Okay, so this is the basic premise, okay, that we're playing with our plants. Okay, we need to let them get a little stressed. Having stress, especially in the earlier stages, seedling stages, okay? Stressing out a seedling is not a bad thing. Like, I'm not saying fuck with it in the first week, okay? When you got, your little bicuspid there and she's just going, leave it the fuck alone, okay? But once you hit a week and a half, 2 weeks, and it started to establish its actual root systems, it starts to show you actual foliar growth moving forward, okay? Fucking around a little bit with your plants ain't a bad thing. It's a good thing, and that's what you want to do. Let's read some of these other comments here. Yeah, root pruning is a legitimate thing, not just for cannabis. It's for everything. I sometimes will root prune at a transplant. Typically for me, though, what I like to do is, like, let's say I'm going from a solo cup to a 2-gallon cup. I pull that thing out of the solo cup, right? I'm going to break that root ball up a little bit. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I do. I like to switch it up, if you haven't noticed, over the last 7.5, 8 almost years now that we've been doing this. But yeah, play with those root balls. Smash it up a little bit. It's a good thing. It's not going to hurt anything. It's all good. Cloud Nata. We love weed titties. The funny thing is, Fred, Cloud Nata, I like it. It's a joke. There's a lot of weird shit happening in our country, but our country's always had stupid shit going on. This isn't a new concept. Doesn't matter who's in power. It doesn't matter who's our leader. Canada's filled with stupid things going on. Always happens. Not a new story. But yes, but we do love them weed titties up in Cloud Nata. I like it as well. Just got to share for it. Or wait now comment there. Oh, that's good. Now let me just keep reading here. Oh, dude, I remember that too, Mike Gem with Green Gene. And the funny thing is in the end, I was in fact right. They were structurally almost identical. Yes. Was there an additional coating put on the 301H? Yes. But when reviewed and actually compared to the 301B, the 301H actually did have deeper blues and reds. There was a significant, markable difference in terms of wavelengths of light that they were emitting. Was it huge? Was it enough to go, my God, the 301H is this new breakthrough chip, which is how it was represented by Samsung? No, I don't think it was. Is it a different chip, and does it have differences? Yes, it does. Was it the breakthrough that we all got excited about that Samsung represented? No, it was not. But it is what it is. Everybody, Justin Trudeau is not a neo-Nazi. I will admit, am I a fan of Justin Trudeau? No, I think the man is a moron. He's the pretty boy moron who was a drama teacher. He was a snowboard teacher and a drama teacher, okay? The guy's a moron, okay? I've gotten stoned with him back when he was a drama teacher back in the day. He's not a smart man. He's just a pretty boy airhead that, because of a name, took control of a political party. And because of the fact that sadly we have nothing really better to replace him with in Canada, he keeps winning. Sadly, going to the next election, who knows what's going to happen. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. But no, our prime minister is not a neo-Nazi, everybody. He's just a moron. I'm just being honest, everybody. Like, the man is just an idiot. No, I actually don't even think he's a puppet either. I just think he's really dumb. I think he actually is making decisions and trying to do things. I just don't think he's actually smart enough to know how to move forward. What's up, the Sir Chugs a lot, man? Long-time viewer, but rarely speak. I remember the Sir Chugs a lot, though. I remember your name from way back when, my friend. And this one's to you, sir. I always love when people participate in the show. And okay, see, we're not a political show, and I know things about Trudeau, and I know what Wake Now is now talking about. I don't really want to get into it on the show Wake Now, but we can have our private conversation. But I'll just put it this way. There's things that most people in Vancouver that lived here at a certain time knew about Justin Trudeau that we just don't talk about. But we'll leave it at that, bud. All right. So the Sir Chugs a lot says, I'm building a greenhouse. 1, congratulations. 2, it's all new to me. Any advice on outdoor growing, but indoor at the same time? Well, do you mean as in advice in growing in a greenhouse? Basically, in your greenhouse, you want to make sure that you've got enough breathability, right? You don't want to have crazy spikes on your relative humidity if you're growing cannabis in there. Again, having your approach ready to go. Really, the number one thing about growing outdoors is know your environment, research your local area, find out what the normal season typically is. Look into, have you had weird seasons? Do you have sometimes short seasons? Like, for example, British Columbia classically does not have a very long outdoor season, right? Often we'll get rain really early, and then we will get hit so hard with so much moisture that PM can be rampant, and it can be hard to get a full run in. There's a number of places in Canada where this is a very real reality of trying to get a full run done. That's why certain parts of Canada, a lot of people love autos outside. That is a good time. I don't, much what I think a lot of countries struggle from that. A lot of our leaders are not great, but we do what we can. Eugene Dolan, again, that's because this isn't a comment on Justin Trudeau's government. It was they were applauded by the Conservatives too, in terms of the See, now we're getting distracted, guys, because I do have opinions on this shit. When they did the standing applause to an old guy who they thought was a war hero from Ukraine, and then found out later that he was in fact a neo-Nazi. I even checked it. It wasn't hard. All I had to do was Google some shit. It took me about 10 minutes. That is just a statement on our collective government of all parties, of our House of Commons, of everything, every part of our the company, which is our country's government. They're just bad at their jobs. It's not hard to do a bit of back end due diligence and figure some of these things out. Let's get back to plants. Thank you, Miss Kay's Garden. How are the ladies? The ladies are doing well. The ladies are doing well. And the funny thing is the development that I was seeing that was leading me to want to, bring down at 8. We might not. So I've been toying around because I've been flushing all week on the plants, thinking that we would go at 8. And I'm like, well, we might go a little past 8. But again, I haven't really fed overly heavily with these plants, except for that one time where I accidentally burned it. It wasn't too heavy of a feeding. It was crystallization and old nutrients. Shit happens sometimes. But I'm thinking I might give them one last little feed, back off for a day or two, and then flush very, very intensely the last couple of days and maybe take them at 8.5 to 9 weeks. Let's see if we can stretch it out to 9. It also gives me a little bit of time because, I still haven't popped the new beans. I think I finally decided what I'm going to grow for fun. I was going to go with something cushy. Like, obviously, we're going to still do the breeding of the skunk for everybody. That's going to happen when the new tents come in. But we need to get something going in sort of the grow tent there. And we're going to be bringing down within a week or two. And I was like, oh, man, let's do something fun. So I was sitting there going through my catalogs of different genetics that I have and all these types of things at the crib. And I was like, well, what would be fun, right? Like, what's something I haven't smoked in a really long time, or at least part of it is something I haven't smoked in a long time. And, there's a bunch of different cushions that I was thinking of trying. just because I love my Kush. Kush makes me happy. Oh, see, now I'm almost like selling myself on not doing the genetic I was about to just say I'm going to do, because then I started thinking about some of the other Kushes that are in there. But the Forerunner, okay, we have not popped the beans into water for their soak yet, so technically there is still room. I'm thinking though, the one thing that I think that might be fun, and it'd be fun for us to all see, it's an old school genetic crossed with a, well, I don't know if I would call it a newer school. I'd call it a midway newer school genetic, because there's so many new age genetics now. I would call Girl Scout cookies kind of a classic midway, still newish age genetic. Okay. For me, Girl Scout cookies has never been a great strain. For me personally, I think it's got great flower formation, great density. It's got great bag appeal, great trikability. But when smoking it, I always found it somewhat underwhelming. But at the end of the day, though, it has a lot of beautiful traits to it. And one of my favorite things that I love is a blueberry indica. Love that. But blue cheese. So, taking a proper either, UK cheese or something like that and crossing that with a blueberry. I've got a blueberry or a blue cheese crossed with SC in my collection that I think would be really fun to play with. It's been sitting here for a few years now. It was gifted to us by someone watching the show, another fellow grower and breeder, and it was sent out to us. And I think it's time for us to actually do something about that. You know what I mean? Like, let's play with that, you know? One second here. I'm just reading. Sir Chuck's Lot says Ontario, baby. All right. So you're in Ontario, in a greenhouse and a tent in the greenhouse. Okay. So you're going to be utilizing a tent then, I'm assuming, for doing some form of light depot, trying to get in 2 runs in your season. The number one thing I'm going to say to you then when growing with the tent in there is making sure you have your air intake and exhaust completely dialed in. You're going to want to watch for secondary relative humidity. So what you're doing with the tent inside of a greenhouse now, okay, you're making a light depot environment, right? But you're making a microcosm environment instead of a microcosm environment outside. So you could have relative humidity inadvertent spikes. So you're going to want to have mitigating proper things like that. Now, if you're using, intake fans and exhaust fans, right? So your exhaust fan, you can keep that in your tent. That's going to go out. That one will be safe, but you got to watch for light leaks. So for example, like how I have this one over here set up, I've got these sort of dryer tubes coming off my air intakes. One thing I need to be cognizant though, at lights out, even if it's not light out there or light in my apartment, is light bleed even through that. Now, I normally just pay attention to it and watch, and then I'm not worried about it. But if you really wanted to go crazy on it, wrap some duct tape on it, wrap something around it to actually keep the light out. And so, yeah, light leaks, right? Making sure proper airflow, not opening yourself up to light leaks by that being built into your tent within the greenhouse. And then also just watching for that relative humidity spike. That would be my number one recommendation to you there. If you're hoping to do a double run in your season, make sure you get it started early. Get that started on the earlier side, flip a little bit earlier on the light depots while you're vegging out the other plants to do your second run, which will be your main kind of later set run. And that's what I would say, simply put. What's the rest of this statement, Mudswap? 1 second here, everybody. I'm just reading. Bear with me. So the Sir Chugs a lot. If you've got pictures, you can email those to me at potsquatch420@gmail.com, and I will actually be able to show those on the show for everybody to see if you want to send it in. The plants are doing well, Aaron. I was just talking about a little bit earlier about how I'm thinking they might, they might need to run a little bit longer. Like, I mean, I was going to take them down early, and I could, but I'm typically a late runner with most things I do. So we're going to push it a little bit longer, and then we'll be good to go. Bear with me. This is the Sir Chugs a lot talking about the system. So I treat it like a grow tent, a full exhaust system, 8-inch inline, perfect for going out and income and air, 4 lights in the downtime, 2 8-inch hurricane oscillating fans, beauty, 2000 BTU for heating and cooling. Hell yeah. Okay, so Sir Chugs a lot. That sounds like you've got a really good comprehensive setup that is ready to rock. You know what I'm saying? That sounds like you got the toys to do it. The next big thing will just be paying attention, my friend. Just be paying attention. All right, let's see if this email has come in. Bear with me, everybody. Oh, that's the wrong email. Bear with me, everybody. Daleski OG, you just sent a picture. Oh, there we go. Wait a minute. Probably the best way to pop this up. And I'm going to have to turn off the background just for a second here, everybody. There we go. There's the picture from Daleski OG there. Looking beautiful, my friend. Looking beautiful. Is that a... What size is your tent there? 4x8? It's not a 4x4. That almost looks like 2 feet, though. Is it a 4x2, Dale? 4x2? Ooh, I'm in a fancy house. Just joking. All right, there we go. All right, 1 second here. Aaron, would I say that the first F1 cross I did went successfully? I would say yes. All of them have been proving to be very, very, very promising. The GCS that I love, what I think I love about it is the uniformity. Like, I've grown it out. Tons of people around the world have grown it out. And there's an epic uniformity going on in terms of the structure of the plant. So we've got a very consistent branching structure, which I was hoping for, to be fair, but to see it actually exhibiting itself out in that way is really cool. I've really, really dug that. So that one has been very successful. I didn't grow the Orange Warrior Widow out myself yet. O'Shea grew it out very successfully. That one certainly has a greater trike amount going on than the GCS does. But I mean, I'm not one who worries about such things. I actually know cannabis, right? So some of the strongest weeds I've ever smoked weren't super triked out. It's just a reality of pot. I mean, it's like, just because something got sexy bag appeal and looks like it's been dusted and cracked doesn't mean it's going to be strong. Hey, sounds good, brother. You send it on through, man. We'll show it on the show, buddy. Hell yeah. Bear with me. Happy 420 to the other side of the mountain. I missed it by 2 minutes here, but that's okay. I was on a rant. Let me catch up to where I was. So Aaron, but yes, am I happy with them? Yes. I'm definitely happy. Do I miss having lots of space so I could be doing a lot of different things at once? I also miss that for sure. It wasn't an Alien OG. That was an Alien Rift, and the Alien Rift was actually part of what went into a number of the crosses that we even have on our store available right now. If you're talking about more recent times. Okay, so it's a 2x4, 6 autos, twin fins, or 2 fins. Okay, gotcha. Perfect. Sorry, I'm just reading everybody. But yeah, so back to what I'm thinking about doing next, though. I'm honestly thinking I might do maybe this blue cheese by Girl Scout cookies, or maybe I'll get a couple of those popped. But see, now I've got myself thinking about who here remembers years ago when we did the King's Kush on the channel. Does anyone remember me growing the King's Kush? I'll help your memory. There was a few different phenos we had of that one. My favorite was a King's Kush that had a huge amount of purpling to it. It was sort of the purple King's Kush pheno that came out. That one was one of my favorites. It was that, well, they were all good, but the purple pheno has such a funky smell to it. So part of me really wants to kind of grow some of those out again. And heck, even if I'm just keeping those as mothers for now, and then we'll do that kind of coming up. Grim Dark 2K. Handle Squatch. Thoughts on side lighting or under lighting during flower? I experimented with full spectrum under, maybe got some heavier buds, but try again. More data equals more better. I agree. And so Grim RK2K or Grim Dark 2K. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to say your name, but I've done a lot of side lighting experiments. If you go back to the last runs we did at the house before my separation and my life fell apart out there, We hung a bunch of double squatches on the walls as well. So we had side lighting on 3 out of 4 walls. I did not hang side lighting on the interior wall. So we had the double squatches on the roof, and then we had side lighting coming around that way. And yeah, I definitely think that side lighting, I mean, having more light in general is always going to benefit your grow, while boosting side lighting. So then we're going to secondaries and having a greater penetrative depth from sort of more than one photon distribution point. Again, these are all going to be possibly wonderful things happening. Like, you're going to get better buds and bigger buds. I mean, the thing you got to be careful though is you don't want to overwhelm your plants too with too much side lighting. So it's just, again, when we start installing certain things into our grows, pay attention to it and watch what they're doing. Hey, thank you very much. Chevy 34, 486 horsepower. Hey, sounds like your car has a good time, my friend. I'd like to take it for a rip, but that sounds good. And thank you very much for joining the family. Thank you for the like, and thank you for joining us today on the Wednesday live stream. Valentine Beauty says King is Pink Kush. No, it is not. As someone who's grown almost every variety of Vancouver Island Pink Kush out there and seen all the different variations, King's Kush is a very distinct plant in and of itself. I've got some Pink Kush. I could grow them side by side to show you what I mean, buddy. And I'm not trying to be contrarian to you. I just know both those genetics very, very well. Yeah, nah. Yeah, so Grim Dark 2K, what I'm going to say, or Grimity, if I remember your own name. And now that I know what you, I remember you, baby. What I'm going to say though too is do you need to have the same light intensity on your side lighting systems as you do on your tops? No, no. I would actually probably, in my professional opinion, say having slightly less photons on your side lighting. Okay, slightly less. Oh, thank you so much, Grim Dark. I really appreciate that, my friend. Go with less on the sides, right? So you don't want to cause plant confusion either, right? So I didn't do that on my last run with the side lighting. Like, I cranked it on the sides as much as I did on the top. After my experimentations with playing around with that and other experiments I've done with side lighting and sort of tents and other grow units that I've built back in the day when I was younger, I would always recommend going slightly less intensity on the sides. Underlighting, I've played with underlighting too. I've just noticed at times on the initial transition of underlighting, okay, you can inadvertently scorch the bottom sides of your leaves. Yes, they often will eventually turn around to accommodate, but you don't want to hit them too hard right away. And that will, that's no good. It's no good doing these. So just be aware that when you do that way, that's what Jordan of the Islands guy said on his site and thought he knew. I mean, hey, that he can be welcome to say that. I, as someone who's grown a lot of King's Kush and a ton of Pink Kush, and I've seen a lot of different varieties by a lot of different Pink Kush growers, there is nothing. I'm not saying they're not genetically related. Okay. I'm not saying they're not genetically related, but they're definitely inherently different strains. I'm sorry. They're just totally different. I've grown them both a lot. I've seen a lot of the finished product a lot. And also, too, King's Kush in and of itself stinks vastly more than any pink I've ever seen. Like, pink stinks, don't get me wrong, but no, I mean, it may have Pink Kush in it, but it's not a straight Pink Kush. King's Kush is a very different reality in terms of how it grows out. Uh, ooh, Sir Chugs a lot. We'll bring that up in a second, but I want to comment on this comment from that guy channel too. Talking about how 1212 is a newer conceptual idea, and the premise on it is to run money up. I will say, in comments of experimenting with going hardcore and keeping on my lights less. So I've increased my darkness periods, right? So I've actually used less power, right, by cutting down my light systems. Did I notice a marked difference in final yield doing like a 1410 or so? No, to be honest. Like, I mean, I think I may have gone down as low as 9 hours on. I've never gone to 8 on and then just left it, but I can say I've never noticed a marked difference with doing the 12-12 and increasing that darkness period and reducing my photo period. I mean, my weights essentially stayed the same. Gazzers is of the same sort of thought as I am. We were actually a couple months ago just having conversations about this. So yeah, I mean, I'm not saying don't do 12-12. That's where you're into, right? Different strokes for different folks. But in the times where I've experimented with changing my photo period, I didn't really notice a huge difference at all. 1 second here. I'm just reading. Okay, Sir Chugslot says, maybe a conversation topic here. I've been buying from mom and pop shops online only because I can't grow at the moment. To me, after 5 years of indoor grow, it is shit online. Yes, the Sir Chugs a lot. It is shit online unless you know somebody in Canada. But these mom and pop shops, you know, they got great prices. A lot of the cannabis you're going to see, and it's funny to me, right? Like, I mean, Facebook gives us such a hard time with our little company, but then you got people openly advertising illegal online dispensaries in Canada and like selling things right cheap. And they've got these amazing pictures and these wonderful pictures, and they make it look so glitzy for you. And then you actually get the product in, and it's just absolute crap. So you're not the only person who has noticed that, Sir Chugs a lot. A lot of these online, and I'm not going to call them mom and pop shops because mom and pop shops usually had really good shit back in the day. I will say though that there's a lot of people online social media selling pot, and it sucks. But you get what you pay for. A lot of these places don't charge very much either, right? Like they've got really, really low prices. And ladies and gentlemen, there's a reason why they've got really, really, really low prices. I'm just saying. All right. So, good question from Eugene Don't. Uncle Pot Squatch, if lighting during a 12-12 goes accidentally beyond that by half an hour or so, will that cause herming? No. Totally fine. So, you can, like, for example, the plant will adapt to even running it in a light schedule that's not based on a 24-hour day cycle. It's a pain in your ass to try to maintain that. But if you grow a plant, right, you're growing indoors and you're like, oh crap, my light stayed on for an extra hour. Totally fine, right? After a certain amount of time, right? Yeah, you might run the risk potentially of degrading certain things or causing stress. But an extra hour, even an extra 2 hours, 3 hours, even 4 sometimes, is not going to harm your plants as long as you're making sure you give them the appropriate bare minimum of 12 hours darkness after you hit them like that. No, you'll be fine. If a plant herms from a subtle mistake like that, it's a fragile genetic in the first place, my friend. Yes. Well, it is very chemically. A lot of these places aren't growing properly. They're not growing their weed properly. It's filled with chemicals. They're using banned substances. Hell, some of them. Plus, they don't flush properly. Who knows what they're spraying down on their things too, man. Like, you know. So, just a word to the wise of everyone around. Just be very wary buying your pot on the internet, especially through places like Facebook or Instagram. Not just for getting ripped off, but just in general. Be very, very careful. Oh man, thank you very much, Yeti Mountain Trading. Much love back to you, my friend. Thank you, brother. Hell yeah, Chevy 34486 HP. Well, thank you, Kenneth R. Knox, for inviting a new friend to join the Pot Squatch family. Yeah, so Grim to Dark or Grim Dark 2K. I'm just gonna call you Grimity, man. It's easier. Underlighting is not something I'm really overly worried about. Side lighting, though, is definitely a great thing when we're doing indoor growing. Again, just remember, side lighting should have slightly less photon intensity than the photon intensity uh up there on the top of your ceiling. Van Beauty says it's a pheno of King, pretty sure. Well, that sounds weird because Pink Kush has been around a hell of a lot longer than King's Kush has. I've like Pink Kush first came out when I was like 14 or 15. King's Kush is a fairly newer Kush in my mind, in my understanding of the history. So, I mean, if it is, I had never heard of King's Kush ever before. And intimately knew Pink's Kush for many, 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 many years before I'd even heard of King's Kush. And again, I quite possible that guy channel too. The one thing I will say though about calling OG Kush a family, if the story of OG Kush is to be believed, okay, and that OG stands for ocean grown, and it's actually referencing a cutting that came down out of the mountains and came down to sea level and completely genetically seemingly changed in terms of the way its attributes acted. In the mountains, it was a sativa. It came down to the ocean level and it began to exhibit funky, weird indica realities. You got to remember, though, it was a cutting. There's no family of it, right? Like it was a singular genetic source that kind of came in and then got intermixed with a bunch of different things. So I wouldn't go as far as saying OG Kush in and of itself is a family. I would say OG Kush is a genetic lineage of genetics, but that was introduced in a weird way given its origin story, right? That would be my only comment on it. So it would be something that would have been potentially crossed with it for sure. But we got to remember that, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it could be similar to a platinum OG. I've never grown platinum OG. I've smoked platinum OG. Wasn't bad. Wasn't bad. Do I prefer King's Kush? Most certainly. But yeah. Sorry, everybody. I'm just trying to read quickly here. I also agree. I personally love a good tuna Kush myself. Rockstar, also classic. That's a classic one. I mean, it almost got overdone for many years here in Canada. So for me, it's frustrating. Eugene Dolan, I've hermied twice now. Now, okay, so Van Island Beauty, or no, sorry, Eugene Dolan, in terms of your herming instances, what happened? Do we run through the list of potential extra stressors and other things that are affecting our plants here? Like if you run through the list, excuse me. Van Island Beauty says, I'm trying 11-13. Awesome. I mean, 10-14 is kind of a place where I often go with. Plus, it saves a bit of power too. Well, I thought you were going to send me some pictures of that greenhouse there, buddy. Sorry, everybody. I'm just reading everybody's comments down. I'm trying to play catch up here. Yo, everybody. Texas Squatch is in the house. It's been a hot minute. Texas Squatch's job schedule these days does not well, it doesn't equal my shows very easily anymore. One second here, everybody. I'm just trying to read. One could argue, though, that guy channel 2, that extra time in the room or being more conducive to our life schedules, being able to attend the plant, that could be argued as we the gardener in our love and attention, right, of being beneficial for the plant. But I don't disagree with you. I'm just being a cheeky monkey. Yeah. See, and like Jansen Dennis, like I said, there's 1,001 techniques out there. Everybody's got their own subtle, nuanced variation of how they like to finish things or do things, right? Which is, to me, beautiful. Like I love the diversity of techniques and ways to grow cannabis that are out there. There's a lot of people on different YouTubes that are going to try to tell you my way or the highway. You got to do it this way, or else it's you're wrong. That automatically will show you that they know nothing of cannabis. There's 1,001 highways to the same destination, okay? And that's part of having fun. As part of having fun, okay, is simply put, just getting out there, trying something new. Especially like one of the funnest things for me, funnest isn't a word, I know. For me as a grower is when I get to know a genetic intimately well. Okay. I've been running it off and on for years, right? I know this genetic like the back of my hand. And then you take something that you know intimately and then you do a drastic change in the way you're approaching it. Do you know what I'm saying? That is always a fun way to do it. You know what I'm saying? Bear with me here. I'm just reading. Bear with me. Well, and at the end of the day, I mean, I appreciate everyone else's participation in the community too, Aaron. And I mean, we've been around a really long time now, almost 8 years, everyone, or approaching 8 years at least. But that's the whole point of this community, and I think of the greater cannabis community. It's like we got to come together. We were a people that many of us spent our lives being prosecuted for it. Many of us are still being prosecuted for it. Shout out to Gaz. Fuck the government. But you know, together we stand, divided we fall. Stop the infighting. It is the way to go. Sir Chugs a lot. Have I smoked tuna kush? Hell yeah. I've never grown a tuna kush, but I love tuna kush. It is a funky monkey and it lives up to its name. There's a funk in there that I'm like, I can handle this being called tuna. I dig it. Oh, that guy channel 2. Don't worry. He's not being mean. Everybody, no being mean to each other, or else I'll get stern at everyone. We're here to get along. Play nice, children. It's the point of the community. I was just talking about that. Together we stand, divided we fall. Like a big old saggy weed titty, we ain't no ties up. You know what I'm saying? Let's hold it and lift each other up, everybody. And again, everybody, there's 1,001 different techniques. Okay. Everyone's allowed to have a different style. Don't fight over styles, everybody. Because what might work for me may not work for you. And that's okay. It's literally the human race. If we all did everything the same way, it'd be an awfully boring industry. And I probably wouldn't be here doing this. Oh, man. 1 second here. I need to grab a beer, everybody. Everybody's going to keep it all persnickety. Oh, my God. 1 second. The tight corners between the green screen and I make things difficult to navigate. Go. There we go. So we're back. We're back, everyone. We're back. Oh shit. There we go. Woo! I did it without breaking anything. All right. All right. Aaron, I feel like I missed the first part of your statement. Are you talking about the origin story of Kush itself? Because that, in like the creation of the word Kush, is that what you're referencing? Because that is very not true. It's making reference to the Hindu Kush mountains. Kush has been its own distinct subvariant family of the Indica world from India, with then lichened cousins that have now been included in my mind in terms of the same genealogy, given sort of terpene and flavonoid profile and physicalities from different things out of Afghanistan as well. So what we learned is what we now call the generic version of Kush family, which is something that it's got to hit certain attributes. It's got to smell right. It's got to taste right. It's got to look right. It's got to hit right. But there's so many different variances that to me, as a Kush lover, fit into the world of Kush. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm just going to keep reading. Bear with me, everybody. What the fuck? What? Yeti Mountain. Is that what? What? What's up, Yeti Mountain? Oh, haha. Sorry. The Sir Chugs lot. I didn't realize you hadn't built it yet, so I apologize. I don't like feminized seeds either. I don't know who that was at, Jason A. Bear with me, everybody. I'm just reading everybody. Play nice, everybody. Please play nice. I'm getting frustrated now. No fighting. Dale, buddy, please stop. Okay, it's enough. Both of you. That guy channel 2 and Daleski OG. Stop fighting. Be nice. You don't have to love each other. I'm not asking you to get married, but be respectful to each other. We're all allowed to have differences of opinion, okay? The fact of the matter is, there's such a diversified world of genetics out there. There's different climate changes. For example, even as an indoor grower, we can be at a different part of the world with different ambient radiation hitting our household, different relative humidities, different air movements, different everything in terms of it. Our waters are going to be different sources. We're going to be using different nutrients or different forms of this. Even basic nutrition that's an organic feed, that's an intermix of something stored in a different part of the world is actually going to break down slightly differently. So, again, there's subtle variation to everything, everybody. Okay. Very rarely will I flat out say something's just wrong. There have been a few times over the years that I've flat out gone, I think that's just bullshit. It's very rare, though. It's very rare. So remember that. Um, the Sir Chugs a lot. I would totally believe that an online store sold you moldy pot. A lot of the government stores for the first 6 months sold a lot of moldy pot with dead and even living bugs in it. There was 147 recalls in the first 6 months of legal Canadian cannabis. Um, and I believe in the first 6 months, like the first 2 quarters of, they lost $167 million. It was either the first quarter, or the first 2 quarters. They lost as a collective industry $167 million, which I had fun ripping on the internet. I was like, how the hell you lose money selling weed? Even a guy with a bag of oregano in high school make money. What the fuck is that? Bear with me here, everybody. I'm just reading. It's all good, Daleski OG, but no more fighting. Okay? Everybody play nice. Hey, much love, man. Thank you for tuning in, brother. Oh, you're still here, not leaving. Oh, your pics aren't on your phone. Well, you should send them in. We'll show them in the next show. Hey, the Quiet Witch. Thank you so much, dear sister. I very much appreciate it. Thank you, dear lady. All right. What's up, Alvin? Good to see you, buddy. I think I did. What was the exact artwork piece, though, on the group? I may have missed it. I will try to find it, go back, though, if I did miss it. Sometimes I miss things. I'm not always the most observant person when it comes to all the different online social media things. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. It's all good. So chunks a lot. It's all good. That's funny. Okay. One second, man. I'm just trying to catch up everything. One thing I will so okay, for example, before we all start arguing, okay, about origins of anything, okay, there by and large, there's no point to argue many of these things. So we're having a helpful discussion is always important. So much of cannabis history, especially when it comes to the history of strains, the origin of strains, one, it's mostly oral. It's all been through word of mouth, and then you get the telephone tag game in there. But then I will say that hell, sadly, maybe even a majority of our industry are just a bunch of arrogant pricks. There's a lot of liars, there's a lot of cheaters, there's a lot of people who are thieves, there's a lot of people who claim to have done something that actually they didn't. Um, Gazzers, for example, has been doing a lot of interesting research, talking to some very, very big people because of his current political issues and what he's trying to do in New Zealand. He's had a lot of really of the old school big names reach out to him. He spent hours talking to Shanti Bubba. He spent hours talking to Todd McCormick, Kevin Jodrey, a bunch of other people, where he's been hearing from the guys themselves, the guys who had direct hands in making shit. And we're talking about where Master Kush came from. Originally, it came from a place called Purist Indica, which was actually what then in turn became the Northern Lights strains. Purist Indica was the original variation that had 12 particular phenotypes that were the ones that were liked. 1 through 12 were liked. The other ones were shit. Okay. That's where we got Northern Lights 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 being the most popular ones. Technically, that does in fact go up to 12. Northern Lights in and of itself then played a part in developing the Master Kush that came out of all of that, right? So, for example, we all know Neville, right? We think Neville invented all of these things. According to these other guys who were all working together back in the day, Neville actually didn't create anything other than, what was it? It was a haze crossed into, oh, bloody hell, can't remember now. I was just talking about this the other day. Doesn't matter. That was the one thing. That strain got really popular, but everything else that everyone thinks he did was actually done by other breeders. So there's a lot of that in terms of our history, everybody. Okay. So you got to remember that. You take everything with a grain of salt. Always learning, always open mind, right? For example, Freak Show, a lot of people claim, and the main understanding is it came out of California and it came from, what you call it? I believe it was Humboldt originally. And was it Reaper or something? I don't bloody know. But then there's another guy who's got a long running history of being from a grow family, five years. And the guy's got photo proof. He's got things going back decades of the development of him doing this. And he called it a completely different name. So again, it could be that there was two guys who actually developed something very similar, or it could be someone stole something from someone. Who knows? It's all up to interpretation and who you believe, right? That's the sad thing. There is no definitive, true chronological history book of where everything came from. There's a lot of different stories floating around there. Hell, if you all remember Dale Rook when he's part of our community before we excommunicated his lame lying ass, he was pretending to be Facundo McCool, who was a breeder who died like 15, 20 years ago in BC. Because I eventually tracked down some people who used to know Facundo, and they're like, oh, well, he died like years ago. I'm pretty sure he got like eaten by a bear or something. So again, lots of liars out there. A lot of people making shit up, man. That's all. 1 second here. I got to read now. I've been ranting for a bit. I like this. We all kill our own plants our own way. Desmond, I like that, Desmond. That's a good one. I like that. See, I like that. That's a very positive way of putting it too. Bear with me here. That sounds like you would freeze your balls off the no grow. That sounds cold. Douchey's being mean, Daleski. Oh, okay. So yeah, no. If you mean where OG came from, no, totally. OG stands for ocean grown. And this is the most commonly accepted story. It was a cutting that came down, and with the actual change and actual pressure, completely changed of what it did. It's referencing pressure changes, everybody, because it was a sativa exhibiting up there, and then you brought it down to sea level, and then it acted like an indica. All right, bear with me. I'm reading. Old Dutch Master's just laughing. I also drink the Pilsner Bunny beer. It's good, it's old school, and it's cheaper and shit. What's up, Character Matters? Good to see you, my friend. Hell yeah, the pub I work at now also has a Wing Wednesday. Okay. Okay, I'm trying to catch up here, everybody. What's up, James Byrne? How's Ireland doing? Well, thank you for the love, my friend. Much love back to you. I'm part Irish, mostly Scottish, so don't hold that against me. But I mean, it's all in there. I'm a Celtic by blood. Aaron, when I was younger, maybe that does not happen as much anymore in my life. I'm pretty responsible these days. I got a lot of shit going on. But there was a point in time that things similar to that may be true. I've had a lot of crazy adventures in my lifetime, Aaron. This is true. Maybe one day we should have just a live stream where I tell you some crazy stories about all the stupid, weird shit I've done in my life. Like my times in China where I almost got arrested 11 times, defying the party, standing up against them. Many different stories, though. So many fun things that I've done. Oh, I do believe I saw that, there's Sir Chugs-a-Lot. I do believe I, in fact, saw that. Oh, thank you, WB Grows or Growers. I will pull up those and take a look at those pictures. It'll be a good distraction. All right, back to the inbox. Wait, did you just send them, WB Growers? Did you just send them or much love, Miss K's Garden? Have a beautiful day, my friend. Hell yeah, character matters. So it's a platinum lemon cherry gelato spread. So very complex mix there. So probably like a platinum silver haze or like a lemon haze maybe mix there with then it could be like a Mendo cherries or it could be black cherry currant. There's a few different cherries that I know intimately. And then gelato. Funnily enough, I've never really grown gelato much. I haven't even smoked it a lot. I've had it a bit in sort of vapes and dabs a bit, but I actually have a bunch of gelato cross genetics. So shout out to Felicia Casper, Skippy Limpy, and to Milo Grow Genetics. So when I first came back to Vancouver, they sent me a huge, care package. There was weed in it. There was a bunch of different genetics. So I've got a straight Puffo, they called it gelato F2, and then there's a bunch of Puffo gelato crossed by a few different interesting things. So those will be kind of fun. But you know what? Character matters. I'm excited for you. So how big is it? Are you getting a start of it inside before you take it outside, or? Hell yeah, Yeti Mountain Trading. I myself have been in the industry now, thinking around for 22, 23 years, and there's still so much to learn. There's still so much to know that no one knows. I mean, it's the plant kingdom that keeps giving, 100%. So WB growers, those genetics still do exist. You can actually still acquire the original purest indica that turned into the Northern Lights family. And then what you basically have to do is then go through and kind of find the one that speaks to you the most, Hey, you know what? This sure chugs a lot. I've been hitting the gym a lot. I've been eating properly. Watch the drinking. Don't drink too much. Eat properly, and just go to the gym. Resistance training is one of the most important parts next to diet, in terms of losing weight, my friend. And it just takes time. It's layered, right? So don't beat yourself up if you don't lose weight right away. I'm just rating. Bear with me here. Um, I mean, the name sounds familiar. Can I call a picture of it into my head? The No Grow off the top of my head? No, I can't. No, I feel you. The No Grow. I mean, I'm not a sativa fan myself, right? But like at the end of the day, yeah, I don't want to sit around waiting for 14 weeks on an indoor grow flowering something. I like to keep it fresh and switch it up. No, I feel you. The Sir Chugs a lot. I mean, before I even worked in bars, I spent a lot of time in bars. It may surprise everybody. Most of the bars I hung out in, I was the pot dealer. That was my origin story. I was a hustler, man. I was a grower and a hustler. I mean, yeah, I worked day jobs too, but that was my origin story. Hell, I sold weed in high school. My best friend, Big A, I'm going to be the best man at his wedding in September down in PEI. I sold him his first bag of weed at a grade 8 dance. Well, I was in grade 8, he was in grade 9, and I sold him a bag of weed underneath a stall in the boys' washroom. And that was the first weed he ever smoked and got high off of. Have I been arrested? I was arrested for the first time a year and a half ago because my ex lied and I got arrested because, when you're 6'1" and giant beard and you look like a skinhead biker and then your partner is 103 pounds, they automatically assume she must be telling the truth. So I got beat to living shit by 4 RCMP officers on my own property. And it's funny, I wasn't resisting either. I kept lifting myself off the ground, trying to ask what was happening. They beat my head open and smashed all open against the pavement. And it cost me thousands and thousands of dollars to prove that she had lied, but I'm good. So, yes, I was wrongfully arrested. I shouldn't have been arrested, but I was wrongfully arrested. Hey, thank you so much, Yeti Mountain Trading. Much love, brother. Oh, awesome. I'll pull that up in 2 seconds, Van Island Beauty. 1 second here. I'm just trying to read everybody's messages because I feel like I've fallen back a fair bit. I have drinking extra old stock back in the day, not since high school, but I drank it in high school. Oh, okay, cool, WB growers. All right. Sir Chuckslot says far from gelato combo, but probably my gelato grow was my first grow, my favorite grow, still to grow, achieve, but can't seem to hit. Well, there will come a day where I'm sure you'll be happy enough with your grow to go, oh, it feels like the first time again. It may have to be the same genetic, but who knows? Maybe you'll find a new love genetically. We will find out. That sounds sexy, Yeti Mountain. How'd she come out in terms of her flavor profile? Did she taste and hit like a sad, or how was she? Nice and light, or yeah. No, I've been the weed dude at a lot of places over my life, everybody. Bear with me, everybody. I'm just reading. Well, I appreciate you, Eddie Mountain. Big love, brother. Big love, man. All right. So Grim Dark 2K says, Posquatch, let's talk medium. I like local dirt, homegrown worm dirt, and cocoa coir to break up the clay, but I think the plants will grow in whatever, depending on nutrition, supplies, etc. Totally. I mean, let's talk about cannabis in general. Cannabis in general is one of the most resilient plants out there. It is an amazing reality. Uh, this plant can grow in the harshest of conditions and some of the most barren environments, and it can grow in almost anything. I've actually watched people back in the day. I remember the first time I saw this is, I'd only been growing for a few years as a teenager, and the first time I saw people literally growing in straight perlite, I just remember it seeming so odd to me, but it did work. I mean, you're gonna have to do a little bit more work in terms of monitoring your hydration, your proper nutrition, and etc. Right? But I mean, at the end of the day, you know, it'll grow in almost anything. Um, so simply put, what I'm gonna do is say that I'm a dirt guy too. Um, Local dirt, yeah. If I lived in somewhere different than the city now, yeah, maybe I would harvest local dirt and then mix it with a bunch of other stuff. Right now, for the lack of space, uh, what does that even mean? What does that even mean, Grim Dark 2K? I don't even know what that means. You did something on YouTube that I don't know what it is. um, It's okay. Daleski OG, we all have bad days. Okay. Lord knows I have bad days too, buddy. Okay. I have bad days too. Okay. Um, it's all good, buddy. So, but these days I like using ProMix as a safe go-to, right? ProMix HP is an easy place for me to go. It's got some cocoa coir in there. It doesn't have a shitload of food, so you got to kind of start feeding fairly early on it. If I had more room, if I had room to do my own compost and do all of that, mix my own super soils and do things a little more organically in an easy way, yeah, like I'd love to do that. That was going to be one of the things that we did at the house there going forward with the channel. But things fell apart, the marriage didn't happen, the house got sold, so we couldn't do that one for the channel at the time. But eventually I'll get back to a place where we can kind of start playing around with some of that stuff. I will say that I am also too of reaching out to a bunch of different sort of companies and stuff like that, so we will kind of basically go and we will basically go through and sorry, I'm getting myself distracted. I'm reading comments and I'm letting it distract my stupid brain. Okay, let me get back on point here for a second. There we go. Where I actually have the space to kind of play around with that. But we're reaching out to, like I said, a bunch of different companies with sort of different organic products, right? So my main thing when it comes to an organic product line in terms of both feed, nutrition, etc., as long as it works, as long as it lasts as much as my sort of salt other alternatives, right? And it's not exorbitantly priced. I mean, that's the one thing that always has frustrated me, I think, is that the cost associated with growing organically and organic based products, unless you're doing it all yourself at home, is astronomical. And it's like, if we want to be successful, we should make things affordable. Like, I know that, scaling something in terms of production can be tricky, but that's part of doing business well. So you got to figure that out, right? So cost point and value is a big thing for me. But yes, in terms of local dirt, if I had the time to harvest local dirt, mix it in with a bunch of other stuff, I would be super into it. The main thing for me as an indoor grower, I'm gonna have to pasteurize that soil, which is an extra step. I see. Thank you, Bud Swat. And yes, you are spoiled, Grimdark 2K. If I'd love even 1 acre. I'd be happy just having one little acre plot to go fuck around on. Oh, bro. Wait. Oh, sometimes they move too fast. The Sir chugs a lot. Also, I like that you post the comments before responding. It was my only complaint on your channel. I remember the stream you implemented context of the question to the viewer. Yeah, I mean, I didn't have the ability to do that before because I was back in the hood days of just running it on my phone. But now that I've kind of gotten used to this, you know what I'm saying? Like, and using StreamYards and other things, like how to do this. I mean, it's definitely I like doing that. And moonshine plus dank equals loose spending habits. I've been there, Grim Dark 2K. I'll tell you, I have been there, buddy. Oh, you're right. Yo, shit. You sent me your pictures, Van Island Beauty. And when you feel that the soil's ready and she's baked out and ready to go, I'll definitely try some of your shit, man. 100%. I thought you said you sent me pictures. Is everyone sending this? Am I not getting them? Where the hell is it? No. I'm not seeing them come through, guys. If people are sending emails, you may have mistyped it. Just saying. Hey, the no grow, when you getting that down, I will come down and I will go check it out. That sounds like a good time for me. I'm leaving Canada. I'm building a bad boy bed and breakfast in Costa Rica for men that went through divorce and JJ Aarons. Hell yeah, man. I mean, the no grow, I'd be down. I'll be down in Costa Rica in October. See if you got it up going. I'm gonna be down there shooting a movie. So October or November, but it's all good, Van Island Beauty. Don't worry. Wait, you're stoned? Who said you were allowed to be stoned on my channel? No, it was hard to make with a straight face. DLSK OG, I respect that statement. And it's true. We all have moments where we're wrong and we act out of line and we get heated up. Okay. That is not the crime. Okay. But being aware of it, owning it, and apologizing, fuck yeah. Hats off to you, man. I applaud that. Well, the Sir Chugs a lot. I actually have another logo I need to create for another YouTube channel I'm starting. I may not even tell anyone on here what that channel is, or maybe I will. I know that politically, some of you do not see things the way I do. I'm a little left for some of you in terms of my political ideologies, which is totally fine, by the way. That doesn't bother me as long as it doesn't bother you. But I'm making a comedic channel, satirical media brand channel. It's called Bump Back Media. And it's going to be my take on things mixed in with some very dark comedy based with logic and actual facts. it's going to be like Stephen Colbert, but a little harsher because I don't have a giant corporate media brand backing me. It's just me playing with it. But I'd love to get a logo for it. I made a kind of a basic one for it, but it was just what I could figure out how to do on like one of those logo apps. So, but shoot me an email, Sir Chugs-a-Lot at potsquatch420@gmail.com. And I'll send you further information about that. That would be awesome. There we go. Typing. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be funny. It's going to be a new channel of just sort of satirical comedy and Potsquatch, being Potsquatch, but in not being Potsquatch. Like, I mean, it's still me, but it's, to be fair, my version of comedy, the way I argue things when it comes to certain things, I've even had a lot of people who are quite right wing actually start agreeing with me after some of it. So it's got to have fun. You know what I'm saying? Jason A, to be fair, it'll probably be more American politics, at least initially, just because, like, I mean, ours are stupid, but there's nothing as much to kind of rip on. America, no offense, Americans, it's easier to rip on your guys' stuff than ours. So realistically, after just having Super Tuesday pass and the whole drama between the Biden Trump rematch, y'all know I'm going to have some fun with that shit. So that's going to be some of the new stuff we're launching. I've definitely got some certain things to say about Russia too. So, I'm gonna make some statements there. And I'll touch base on Canadian politics as they come. But sadly, like, everything's just always a little bit more boring in Canada, right? Like, the rest of the world gives me vastly more material. So, but yeah. Yeah, no, hey man. Sounds good, Fred. And see, like, you're someone like we have different ideas on things. So that's actually what would make it be a very fun collab, I think, if we ever did something together. See, Yeti Mountain Training. See, that could be misconstrued in so many different ways. It could be misconstrued as like just start smoking dope, give up alcoholism, switch to an electrical vehicle with hydroelectric power, become a vegetarian. So I'm not naming the one thing that you're actually referencing, just because I just would feel weird saying that. As I've always said, for years people bugged us to do the monetization thing so people could make a donation or so people could subscribe or like do a membership thing or this, that. And people harassed us for a long time about that. And I always resisted. I was like, no, it goes against the creator mission statement of what this channel is. You don't have to pay to play, baby. You don't have to pay to play. I will keep doing this regardless of that. And that's why we've never done anything like, some channels will have like specific pay for content. I could never bring myself to do that. If I wrote a book one day and you want to buy that, I'd sell you a book. I'd sell you my book. I'd let you pay for a book. Or like, that's part of why we did the lights at first, right? Like, if you want to help me out, like, I'll sell you something. Like, I'll develop something and release it. That's why we've got a CBD beard oil line. We've got a CBD line, a genetics line, hats, t-shirts, grinders, papers. But eventually I caved and I was like, all right, because someone, I can't remember who it was. Oh, shoot. What was her name? Oh, she won that argument so well. And her main argument to me was, who the fuck are you? She's a little harsh on it. But sometimes you need to be harsh with me to get me to realize something. She goes, who the fuck are you to tell us what we can or cannot do to show appreciation? You do this. You should give us the opportunity if we want it. Does it make a statement on your ethical or moral choices in terms of content creation? It's not like you're holding a gun to anyone's head doing it. So fuck off and let it happen. And I had nothing to say to her. I was like, fuck, woman, you just won that argument really fast. And I've actually been winning this argument in my head for literally 2 or 3 years now. And in the span of like 3 minutes, I can't remember her bloody name. I wish I could remember her name. But she was a very well thought out person. And my God, she stopped me in my tracks in terms of my thoughts on things fucking faster than I could shake a stick at him. Oh, no worries, brother. That guy channel 2, much love, man. And tell your daughter I say hi. Okay, sounds good, Sir Chugs-a-Lot. I'll send you an email back. I'm just trying to read now. Hey, Buzzkill Willis, baby. What's up, bro? Welcome back to the show. It's been a hot minute. You know, that's funny. I actually pretty sure I still have the letter you sent me. Yeah, right here. It's not really a letter. It was the write downs, but can I show this without showing my? No, I'm not really worried about showing my address. Actually, that was a funny thing. Years ago, this is going back into the first year or two of this channel when we were first kind of blowing up a little bit. Um, Someone was watching one of my videos at the balcony over there, and they saw a brief limited vision of where I was, and they managed to figure out with Google Maps exactly where I lived. And at first, I was like, should I be freaked out about that? And I was like, no, I can't be freaked out about that. Like, fuck, that's impressive. But check it out, Buzzkill Willis. Oh, can I show it? There we go. There we go, buddy. It sits next to my desk there. I'm very sentimental. So when y'all send me stuff or there's like a little note in there or something like that, like I actually keep that shit. I'm a big lug. I'm very sentimental about shit. So I've got like weird little knickknacks or memories from things that people have sent me from over the years. Yeah. Okay, perfect. So you sent it? Perfect. One second here. Which one was it, the Sir Chugs a Lot? Okay, so Van Island Beauty, yours hasn't come through yet, but I have one from what I will just say is Wes, and this is a clone tent. It's a 3x3. This is the Hibiscus Keeper Fino and the Lemongrass Keeper Fino. Both came from Humboldt seeds, and then there's also 2 Fresno chili peppers. Mm-hmm. Okay, I can't make this look super good. It's a little grainy, this first photo. One sec, I gotta turn the virtual background off. There we go. There we go. So, I turned it back on. Dumbass. There we go. Looking very good, my friend. And if you look there, right at the corner there, those are the little pepper plants, I think. That also looks quite nice. All right, buddy. Looking good. That's it, Wes. A slightly more up close picture here. Up, your email just went through, Van Island Beauty. Looking good though, my friend. Looking good. Okay, I'm just downloading your images. Woo! Looking very happy and healthy, my friend. And also, too, Van Island Beauty. I know you've been playing with your super soil for a long time, number of years now, trying to dial it in and trying to get her going, bud. But bro, your plants look so much happier and healthier now than back even just a few runs ago. So you are really dialing it in, bud. Good job, dude. You're really doing a good job. I'm proud of you, man. So that's the thing, everybody. You cannot expect to know anything perfectly ever. You can never expect to know everything. The man or woman or the or they or they or the or Pompamos that says they know everything is a fucking moron. Okay. But what you can do is always endeavor to learn more, to open up your mind to greater options and potential hypotheticals. Okay. That is something that you can, in fact, do. I know what I did. I turned off the setting on this that says this. There we go. Now it works. But like that's the reality of it, right? So keep growing, keep experimenting and developing because the only way to get better at something is by practice and fucking up on it. We learn from our mistakes. Okay. That's where we learn from. We don't learn from our successes. When we are successful, we might tend to brag about it or think positively about it. Go like, oh, that was so good. Oh, it's this wonderful memory that brings me endorphins and dopamine and this, that. But the memories of failure, the memories of a mistake, That's when we learned things. That's when we learn stuff. Yeah, I mean, we can learn from successes too if we like try a new technique and it goes really well. But that's basing off the foundation of where we would have developed that technique from, either a failure or something short, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. The no grow says, can I barbecue some pork chops and feed the dogs? And then I'm going to go to my pub and have a little side of wings. Hell yeah, buddy. Cheers to you, the no grow. And let me know when that place down in Costa Rica up and running. I'll come down for a visit, man. Buzzkill Wells, I still fuck up simple things sometimes too. That's the thing you got to remember. It's okay to make mistakes, my friend. It's okay to make mistakes. And that's true. You just got to keep playing around with it, Van Beauty. You got to keep playing around. Have I missed anyone's things? What's the name of the video, Sir Chugs a Lot? No, that doesn't work. Sir Chugs a Lot. Because if you're sharing a link, I don't think any of us are seeing it. Exactly, Yeti Matter Training. That's the way to do it. It's the way to do it. 1 second here. I'm trying to do something on my phone here. Gonna have this stupid thing turned off though. Actually, if you make a big comment or something on it, that might be a way for me to see it as well. The red hoops, bro. I've used those at a few different times though. For me to see it as well. The red hoops, bro. I've used those. Sorry about that. Thought I turned the volume off. Oops. There we go. There you go, that guy channel too. There. I think I've made it now. The Sir Chugs a Lot that you should, in theory, be able to share a link to the video now. No, I know that no is in Canada. He's going down to Costa Rica though, and opening up a bar or a thing or something like that. WB Growers, I've been up past 10 in 10 years. All right. Sweet dreams, WB Growers, and keep it real. Well, there you go. The Sir Chugs a Lot. That's awesome, though, bro. All right. So let's take a vote. And it's not a definitive vote. I may still veto it just because I choose to grow something else. What sounds better? Blue cheese by Girl Scout cookies. Okay. A revisit of the King's Kush. A revisit of the Sasquatch strain. Or, let's give you something weird in there. I've got so many different cheese crosses. So I'm like, which is another cheese cross that could be fun? Because I love cheese, right? So, here's a classic. Romulan by cheese. You know, Buzzkill Willis, I mean, the thing for me and us out here, bud, is like allergies aren't that bad on the West Coast. Like, I mean, they exist if you leave the main city, but I'm on the water here so hardcore that it is pretty chill, yo. Like it's pretty chill in general, really. Okay, so the freak ride. So Buzzkill Willis, I have it in my cupboard. I've still got to find it. I am going to grow one of those out for you. I just need to pull out more of my cupboard because I can't find it. I've put it somewhere in a safe place in my cupboard. I went through my whole cupboard partially the other day, but there's a whole other section of where I've got more seeds that I haven't cataloged. So I've cataloged all those, and now I'm looking for the freak ride. The freak ride is still here. Do not fret. I do not ever lose these things. I just put them in safe places and then don't think about adding them to shit as often as I should. So I will, you know what? I'll even try to do that today and find that. All right, wait, we're getting votes coming in on this shit. Grim Dark 2K cheese, and I want some hashtag grow together. Yeah, I mean, I've got a few of the cheese crosses that I definitely have enough where I could like share some with you there, Grim Dark 2K, and we could do a kind of back and forth grow and share together. You could even send me some video updates on yours, and it could be like intermixed in with my my releases on there. Anthony Cordero says old ramen with cheese. Yeah, it is a cool concept, right? That guy channel 2. Pots, are you getting drunk? No, it takes a lot more than 3 beers for me to get drunk. I am a little tired. It's been a long couple of days and I've been working all morning, but no, I am not getting drunk. I am getting distracted a little bit in my brain, which happens. That guy channel 2. Do I have Bubba Kush? I have a Bubba Kush that I acquired, and I've only got the one bean of that one. I've got Pilgor's Bubba Kush, which is different than any Bubba Kush I've ever seen. So I'll call it Pilgor's Bubba because it's different than the Bubbas out here. But I do have that one Bubba there as well. Yo, what's up, Growers Plus? Much love. Yo, Growers Plus, quick question. I believe you commented on something recently, and you guys wanted me to try out some of your stuff. I remember even creeping your page a little bit. I think the thing that I remember most about seeing, there's a few different products. I loved that you had a CO2 excreter bottle of your own design. I made a video many, many moons ago showing someone how to make a basic version of that at home. But I'm always down to collab on a piece or try out some like another company's stuff. So if that was you, and I think it was you, I'm super on board. Send me an email. We can chat. You're not wrong. That this is a true statement. I can actually usually drink about 10 to 12 beers and blow zero on a breathalyzer. And I don't say that necessarily. Well, no, let's not lie to ourselves. I say that with a lot of pride. I'm pretty proud of that. To the point of where I actually, in fact, have a professional grade breathalyzer that I take with me to parties to prove a point. So it's kind of funny, but yeah. So Growers Plus, I'm super down. If you want to have a chat, maybe at some point today or tomorrow or some point. I will type it for you. Bear with me here. I even typed that right. There we go. All right. I think really what you're noticing, that guy channel 2, is I've normally gone pee by 2 or 3 times in these shows back in the day. I've just really got to pee right now, to be honest. Can you all talk amongst yourselves for a minute while I go pee? This is all like an audio studio setup here now, so I can't take you with me. And I think that we would freak out some of the new viewers now, because like back in the day, the live stream during the live stream was very much a thing. Because back in the day of the shows, I used to drink a lot. Some shows I'd pound through like 10 to 20 beers. And we actually did shows back in the day that would go for like 3-4 hours plus sometimes. And I think back on that now, and I'm like, how the hell did I do that? Because like I could still drink, but it's like, man, like, and oddly, I kept the show going pretty good. So that was part of our origin story back in the hood days, the pot squatch. You know what I'm saying? That was back when life was good. I thought my wife loved me. Living in the house, first bought house, just cranking the beers and lab 2. It was a good time. You know what I'm saying? One sec, though, everybody. I gotta piss like a motherfucker. Talk amongst yourselves. No fighting. Be nice. Play nice. I'll be right back. Pot squatch is going to piss. Yeah, that is definitely where I was getting a little weird from. My God, I had to pee so bad, my friends. Dear God, my goodness gracious me. Woo! Woo! Oh, my goodness, my friends. That was intense. Buzzkill Willis, I have a question. Um, were you the one who also sent me the Blueberry F12? Because I was trying to remember who sent me that. I feel like it was a recent one from someone at home because I remember cataloging it into the vault. Were you the one who sent me the F12 old school Blueberry? Kenneth Arnock sounded like a pipe burst. Man, my body's just highly efficient. I'm just reading. Well, you know what I'm growing, W growers. I won't even answer the question. All right. It said F12, I think, on the bag, but then yes. Okay, so I found half of what you sent me. The freak ride's still in there somewhere. It's not the most organized thing. My first wife, who was German, would not be impressed on how I've been keeping this covered, but I've actually got Everett. Good to see you, my friend. Also, too, I just wanted to say, Everett, I saw, I know that's not your name, but you know what I'm saying. I saw the most recent painting you were working on with the, I think it was like a spaceship, this or that, and blah 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 blah. But it, like, dude, like, I'm loving the new depth and attention to detail you're taking on your pieces and seeing you have fun and actually working on shit again. I fucking like that one, dude. It was looking dope as fuck. Get back at it, bro. Never say die, never surrender. Even though it's technically never give up, never surrender. Galaxy Quest reference. But you know what I'm saying, buddy. Oh, right. But I like Blue Dream too. I've got a couple of different Blue Dreams. I think I've got a couple of Blue Dream crosses in my collection as well. Sounds good, Growers Plus. And like I said, Growers Plus, I mean, we're an honest YouTube, right? So we will try out your products. We will give you a place to have them tested by me. We'll play with them and show everybody. And that's kind of what we're offering to any of the companies that want to send us some stuff to play around with. Because again, together we stand, divided we fall. And you're a small company doing good shit, doing good work from what I could tell from what you're doing. So the least I can do is take a look at it and help you get some attention on that. So my only thing that I say to every person and every company that sends me stuff is I'm going to be honest about my opinions on something. So, and I won't be mean, even if I'm critical on something. I will not be mean. I will not go out of my way to make you feel bad or insult something, but I will be honest. I've built this brand on being an honest asshole in my humble 2 cents. So as long as you guys and girls these days are comfortable with that, then my God, Growers Plus, hell yeah. I agree, Eugene Dolan. It was a funny movie. I liked Galaxy Quest too. Yeah, Buzzkill Willis. I'm a big fan of Blueberry too. You know what I mean? Like, we've grown DJ Short's Blueberry on the channel many, many moons ago. We did it for a number of runs here. Um, Funnily enough, too, the pheno that I ended up loving of the Blueberry Indica was so small. She was a bit of a runt, but she got overgrown by her sisters. I didn't even see her in the closet. This is back in the origin stories of the channel. And when I was harvesting, I was like, oh, fuck, there was this tiny little plant. So I pulled it out. I re-vegged that little thing, and it turned out to be a powerhouse in the end. But that's also because it got hit with the re-veg and attracted a bunch of fungus gnats, and then we got hit so hard in there. And that was before I discovered beneficial nematodes being a wonderful thing to fight the pesky little fungus gnats, But hey, I mean, so, Blueberry Indica is also what led me to learning more about the bane of my existence, which is fungus gnats. And I hate those bastards very much. Hey, Growers Plus, 100%. I agree with you. That's how we run our little company here at Pod Squatch Growers. That's why we developed our CBD. That's why we developed our genetics. We don't hide anything about our genetics. We're honest about where they're at in development. Where did they come from? What went into them? What created them? And also too, like for example, like a lot of times on my channel, like I've had mistakes over the years where I fucked up or something bad happens. I didn't hide it. I owned it. And I was like, yeah, this is a thing. This is actually the real shit of what happened. Okay. So it is the best policy. Be honest. Don't hide, don't hide shit. Don't put on a fake show or a fake this or blow smoke up people's legs, unless it's funny where you have a joint, you're literally just blowing a smoke up someone's pant leg. That's funny. But the only way to build a brand, the only way to be a person in our industry, the only way to do anything of any relevance, my humble 2 cents, is to be nothing but transparent and be upfront and honest about shit. I've met many people in our industry that aren't like that. And if anything, it just helps me to double down in terms of that as the basic sentiment of what should be and what is good. WB growers, if you mean regular beans as in non-feminized, all of our genetics are always regular beans. We don't believe in feminized genetics. We're against it. We're developing regular genetics to release. No worries, Daniel and Dressy, baby. It's all good, bub. Welcome to the show, man. No, totally Growers Plus, right? Like, and that was like, for me, like I fell in love with growing weed back in the day. Uncle Pot Squatch started humble origins in terms of the cannabis industry. I didn't come from a pot growing family. I didn't come from a legacy family. I didn't even come from a family where people smoked weed. I discovered pot on my own. Both my mom and dad are Anglican priests. That's right. I grew up in the church. I was the actor, writer, pot growing, pot smoking, pot selling, black sheep son of 2 priests. The first time I got caught for pot, I was probably 14 or 15 years old, at which point I was caught with, was it that time? Which time came first? I feel like that was the first time. So basically, Uncle Pot Squatch got a really good line on 20 pounds of weed. Okay. So then Uncle Pot Squatch was like, well, it's so cheap. So I found an investor. I found someone who was going to lend me money for a brief period of time. And then I found a buyer and I sold half of it. I sold the other half back for the exact amount paid. And then the remainder was what was profit. So after pulling off the deal, I was probably 14 or 15 years old or so at the time, maybe 15. It's hard to remember the exact times of these things when I was a kid. So I thought my parents would respect my space, you know what I'm saying? So I took all this weed and I just put it underneath my bedspread. And my parents will never go in my room. They'll never smell 10 pounds of marijuana. It was like at least 10 pounds. There's a lot of weed. And I was a dumbass. I was 15, right? Turns out my mom went in, right? She goes in to bring some laundry for me, even though I did my own laundry most of the time. So I don't know if I'll believe that excuse, and then they discovered the marijuana, and then they went on the police website and found out that it's worth $250,000 because in their minds that made sense. Who do you owe for this? Don't know anyone. I bought twice as much, flipped half of it, made the money back. I mean, technically, I own this with the investor, but blah, blah, blah. Marijuana is the devil. Well, no, look, I respect your parents, but you're obviously fucking stupid if you actually believe that. Come on, give me a break. You're Anglican. You taught me there is no such thing as the devil. There is no such thing as hell. How does that even make sense then as a statement? Yeah, that was Pot Squatch at 15, ladies and gentlemen. I'd already been growing for a few years at that time and hustling and flipping for a long time. Well, at least a few years too. I got into it young. I was good at it. Made sense to me. It was an easy way to fucking, get by and do things. I moved out at 15, so probably a little bit after that, to be honest, around then, moved out. I was like, well, fuck you all then, Now, I was still close to my family and saw my family. I didn't cut them out, but I was going to be myself. You're not going to tell me who to be. Jesus Christ. Sorry. I found that story amusing and funny, but hell yeah, Van Island Beauty. That's what I like to hear, yo. Hell yeah. But also at Growers Plus, though, I'm excited. I'm glad to check it out. Um, Also, too, Growers Plus, if you're still there. Oh yeah, I'm a stubborn prick, Growers Plus. I mean, I can't be sucked in. I can't be sucked in by anyone's ideology. I got to figure it out for myself. And that was the thing for me as a young man. Probably, where in the world are you located? Are you in North America? I'm assuming you're somewhere in either Canada or America. I ask because my phone plan is North American wide, and I do enjoy having a quick call with people before things. I like to get a feel for people, if that's okay, if you're okay with that. And I would love to give you a shout, and then we can chat in greater depth about hypotheticals. Oh yeah, wait now, totally. High school, I made a lot of money in high school. The high school I made, everybody. Well, here I'll leave that up so everyone can read it. Not a lot of people read as fast as I do. My high school was crazy too, right? Like, I mean, fuck, on an average lunch break, 2 to 3 pounds of weed would change hands every day. I wasn't the only seller. I was just the one with the best weed. I was usually a little bit more pricey. But if you wanted the dank, you went to Potsquatch. If you wanted a good deal, you went to Tom, Dick, and Larry. Like if you wanted to get ripped off and pay too much, then you went to fucking, oh shit, what was his name? He got beat up by those guys because he fucking didn't pay his bills. He was a moron. I can't remember his name now. Shit. I can remember his face. I remember the instance with the guys. It'll come to me later. Doesn't matter. But high school was an interesting time. What was I going to talk about too, though? Oh, right. My Uncle Frank's lesson of life. So my Uncle Frank was an interesting, character, everybody. Frank quit more jobs, good jobs, than anyone in the family. He was in and of himself kind of the black sheep part of the family. The sad thing about Frank, he never really got married, never really dated much, and never really held down a job for very long. Never got fired, though, is the funny thing. Like, he'd just get upset about something and he'd quit, right? So Frank was a passionate man, special agent, was in the Navy for a long time. That's like the one job he probably didn't quit. But, regardless of the shortcomings of my Uncle Frank, I loved my Uncle Frank very much. And my Uncle Frank taught me a very valuable lesson. And it was just because you read something somewhere or someone tells you something, just because you see something on TV or somebody in a magazine says something or this or that, doesn't matter whether it's your friend, someone you respect. I mean, he would have said on the internet if he knew what that was back then, but I mean, it wasn't a thing really in his mind, right? Don't you ever fucking believe a goddamn thing. Bear it in mind, take note of it, but you go see for yourself. You go try something out yourself and figure it out. That is true intelligence. And to me, I was so young, him saying this to me, like I was like 5, maybe 6, probably not much older than that. When I remember him telling me this, you know what I mean? But that is something that stuck with me. Puppies, be quiet. I'm in a show. Oh, their toy's so far away, I can't throw it. Bring me the thing. I'll throw it for you. But that was some of the realest shit that was ever told to me as a young person. Like I was like 5 or 6, and it's stayed with me ever since. So I stay mindful to things. I stay honest to things, and I speak to the things that I know are truths. But at the same time, like I've always advocated for you at home. Like if I teach you a technique, and even if I tell you it fucking works, take that with a grain of salt. Take anything I or anyone else on the internet says with a grain of salt. Doesn't matter what it's about. And you got to figure it out for yourself. Got to go check it out and be pragmatic and have real critical thinking. Buddy, come here. You want to come say hi? Come down. Come down. Come here. Come here. Come say hi. You can come on the show. Come here. There we go. Everybody, Mogwai wanted to come on the show. There we go. No, calm down. Calm down. Calm down. There we go. Everyone, this is little Mogwai. He's my little buddy. His sister's over there. You can come on the show too, Betty. You want to come on the show, Betty? You want to come say hi? Come here, Betty. Come. I can't reach over that far. I'm holding your brother. Come here. Betty. Come here, Betty. Betty may or may not come and join us. Here's our little buddy Mogwai, though. He's a very good boy. He's a little Yorkie poo. That's right. Yes, Mogwai. Yes, look at those giant ears. Oh, he's nervous, so he won't put his ears up. Put your ears up, everybody. He won't. I'm going to put him down. Come here, Betty. You want to say hi, too? Come here, Betty. Come. Betty, you got to come here. I can't reach that far. She's being stubborn. I'm like, yo, girl, you want to come say hi? Come here, Betty. Come. Come here, Betty girl. Come on. Well, fine. You don't get to come on the show then. Unless you come here, you cannot come on the show, Betty. All right. Your loss. Okay, cool. So Growers Plus, I mean, I have unlimited calling to anywhere in America or Canada. So I could, if you want to have a quick chat, we could do it that way. Or video calls work too. I'm pretty easy. Or I got the WhatsApp and all that jazz. But on those notes, the show has been going on for now 1 hour, 46 minutes, and 18, 19, 20 seconds. I actually got caught in a loop one time when I was really stoned in a show, and I just kept saying it. I think I'd eaten some magic mushrooms. I think that show still exists, but it's private now, so nobody can see it anymore. It's going back. They had to like message my wife at the time, like, yo, I think he's broken. He's been trying to end the show for like an hour, and he just can't stop. Like, I like that, Daniel Andrassi. It's like, Orlando, Florida here. We get high with our Mickey Mouse ears on. Laugh out loud, ha ha ha. And in the bad parts of Orlando, you can get killed with those same Mickey Mouse ears on. See, what I'm saying is, like, I'm going to come down to Orlando. I'm going to get myself some Mickey Mouse ears. I'm going to put them the fuck on. I'm going to show up in my Cadillac. Uncle Podsquatch going to take a stroll in that bad part of town. I like to see one of those motherfuckers try to move at me. The funny thing is, you know me on the show. I'm a very happy, jovial person. But when you see me walking down the street, a lot of people are scared of me. And it's funny to me because, like, I'm a really nice person. Like, yes, I'm bald. Yes, I look scary. I wear leather, riding leather, blah, 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 blah. I wear chains. I wear rings. I wear this or wear that. And I look like I'm, because like, I usually walk around with a scowl on my face, maybe, but I'm just usually thinking about something, right? Like, it's not me scowling. I'm just thinking, but like people get freaked out. But I think that'd be a fun social experiment. Uncle Podsquatch, back in the hood days. Yo, Buzzkill Willis, I'm down. Like, I mean, the fact of the matter is, coming up in the next year or two, once I get this new job, because I mean, between dying last year almost and like being out of work a bunch and then like getting fucked over my last job, even though I, beat them in the court stuff, the thing I need to really do is get back to financial stability. And once I get there, though, like I'd love to take a bit of time and drive to different parts of the States. Like I'll visit different parts of America where any of the Podsquatches have something going on. We can make a video out of it, right? I mean, I visited Irish Squatch the other day. Now, mind you, he lives close to me. He's just in Chilliwack. That was only like an hour and a half drive. But like I'm down to do like maybe like a Podsquatch tour. And we'll just come down and visit y'all. We could shoot a bunch of videos at anyone's place. Anyone who wants to participate, we could totally do that. I could come down to America, make my way around different parts of America. I probably won't do like the whole thing at once because that's like a really big road trip, but like we could totally do that though. I think it would be fun. Sure chugs a lot. I got you, man. Oh, I got you. But anyway, my friends, my family, I'm going to end the show here today at the moment, at the now. I will make definitive decisions in terms of what beans we're going to pop. Give myself a timeline so I stick to it. They will be popped before I go to work tomorrow. I will release a video and you will have the final decisions of initial things. I think what I'm going to do is only pop a couple of everything so we can have a little variety going on there. And I'm going to be doing some reach out to, some other stuff. AC Infinity might be sending us some stuff. And really what I want from them is like, hey, if you guys want to throw some tents to try on the channel, that'd be great because it would be helping me out, get some more shit going for everybody anyway. But it will be a good time. So please like, subscribe, tell your friends, share it about, invite your friends here for either the show or to check out the videos. We are an all-inclusive community that's safe for all people. It doesn't matter what your political ideology is. It doesn't matter what your superstition or religious beliefs are. It doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter what your sexual orientation is. Now, I made a whole video on this, and to be fair, I'm sorry. If you're a pedophile, please stay away. We're not into that. But anyone other than a pedo, you're welcome. And, be a good person. It's a safe place for good people. Different people, all different sorts of people coming together in the love of the weed titty, having a good time, sharing and caring. Check out our group on Facebook. It's called the Pot Squatch Growers Community on Facebook. Answer the questions. It is an actual liability. So you just answer those questions. We can actually let you into the community. Also, Daniel Andrassi. Oh, yeah. No, I was an underground cage fighter for 6 years. I know how to, and I've been in countless bar fights growing up. I can handle myself well. I'm not worried about that. But, simply put, come check it all out. If you'd ever want to try Pot Squatch Genetics, or you want to rock a Pot Squatch shirt or do anything like that, we will have more big shirts coming in soon, by the way. We've got a CBD beard oil line. We've got CBD. We've got genetics, rolling papers, grinders, all that shit. If you want to get your swag on, your Pot Squatch pride, check out our store. It is potsquatchsales.com. I didn't do it right. I got to do this. HTTPS / www.potsquatchsales.com. There we go. That should be a clickable link for you, my friends, to check it out. But have a good time. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the love of all of you. Big shout out to I believe it was. I'm just going back. Was it Grimdark 2K? I think it was you, Grimdark 2K. Thank you for showing your love to your fellow pot squatchers for buying them all, a bunch of them, memberships. I think it was you who did that. Can't remember now. Wait, if I do this, I can check it out. Yes, it was. Grim Too Dark, thank you, my friend, in showing the love to everybody there. That was wonderful of you. See, I'll just go through. So first, Grim Too Dark became a member. Then he gifted 5 Pot Squatch Growers memberships, and then gifted a 6th. That is very sweet of you. I didn't even know you could do such a thing, but that is the kind of shared love to everybody I like to see, and that is wonderful. But, my friends, my family, remember, the true grower is the forever student. The true grower is not afraid to take risks. The true grower makes educated, stupid decisions. Remember, there's 1,001 highways to the same end destination. Just because someone does something differently than you do doesn't make them a fucking moron. It also might make you a moron if you start trying to say that they are because they like something differently than you do. There's very few definitive absolute wrongs in our industry and in our trade. Have some compassion, keep an open mind, and the world's a pretty fucked dark place. Be nice to each other, or else I might just have to spank you all and grab the hose. All right. Peace the fuck out. We'll see you soon. Lots of videos coming soon and all that shit. Bye.